where the partying has already begun. It's a cold, nippy day outside here, perfect for bratwurst, and they're firing them up right now as the fans are getting fired up for what ought to be an explosive basketball game in this first round contest in the Eastern Conference between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Orlando Magic. Should be an explosive basketball game because we have two high-scoring teams. Milwaukee's second at over 100 points a game. The Orlando Magic sixth at 97 and change. I would suppose, Mike, if there is one difference between these teams, it's they both have high firepower. There are more big guns on the part of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Bob, you go around the league and you try to think of high-scoring duos. It's not that difficult. You think of San Antonio and Duncan-Robinson combination in Sacramento, Stojakovic and Weber. But when you try to think of high-scoring trios, a little more difficult. The highest-scoring group in Los Angeles, the Lakers, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and Derek Fisher, averaging over 68 points per game. The second highest scoring group, and perhaps the most explosive, right here, the big three in Milwaukee of Cassell, Allen, and Robinson. These three players each had career highs in individual games this season. Robinson scoring 45, Allen 43, and Cassell 40 points. When this Milwaukee team is shooting the basketball well, they can be an offensive juggernaut. Just ask the top four teams in the Western Conference who the Bucks own an 8-0 record against.
Now, of course, Tracy McGrady, a big powerhouse scorer for Orlando Magic, but the X factor in this game will very probably be Darrell Armstrong. He's with Cheryl Miller right now.
And Bob, Tracy McGrady may be the team's leading scorer, but Darrell Armstrong, hands down, is the emotional leader. But Darrell, this month physically has been really tough on you because of that strained groin. How healthy are you?
I'm healthy enough to get out here and play. You know, it doesn't matter if you're injured or not. It doesn't matter if you're healthy. This is the playoffs. This is the time you got to play. You got to be there for your team, and that's why I'm just out here ready to go with my teammates.
You guys come into this series, obvious, overwhelming underdogs. How do you steal tonight's game?
Just go out here and play basketball and win one. And, you know, stop all that talking about we the underdogs. And, yes, we are. We're the 7th seed, but as you can see so far, home court advantage hasn't been too good for the lower seeds.
All right, good luck, Darrell, tonight. Thanks a lot. Let's go back to you, Bobby.
Thanks, Cheryl. Of course, Darrell is pumped, says he'll be able to play all right, but how injured is he really?
In actuality, Darrell has not practiced well at all due to the injury. In fact, he pulled up in yesterday's practice with that groin. If it were the regular season, he probably would not play tonight. But it's not the regular season, it's the playoffs, and that's why he's going to go. Now, while he is the captain of their team, their emotional, inspirational leader, their coach on the floor, the main man for the Orlando Magic is T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. While Milwaukee has its big three, Orlando has its big one. McGrady is 7th in the league in scoring this year. He has scored 40-plus points 5 times, over 30 points 26 times this season. He has the most shot attempts, free throw attempts, and rebounds for the Magic team, while having the second most blocks and steals. The question will be, is the playoff load too heavy for this 21-year-old?
We're going to find out just minutes from right now. We'll be joining Ernie in the studio back here for the tip-off, and we'll do that right after this.
Ernie Johnson back at you from our Atlanta studio. Charles just kind of hanging around.
It's called chilling.
Called chilling. I keep taking notes on lingo here, so I'll be all ready for you by halftime.
Ghetto slang.
Very good. More of that to come at halftime with Charles and Kenny and Paul Pierce. Meantime, a quick look at the scores in case you missed them today. I like these without music, but no, we got some. 106-93, the Lakers winners over the Blazers as they pull away in the fourth to win the opener. Game 2 Thursday night on TNT. Sacramento loses the home court edge. Phoenix goes in and beats them 86-83. Game 2 of that series Wednesday night. Second game of a doubleheader, TNT. And Toronto and the Knicks. Toronto got swept last year. They lose game 1, 92-85. Vince Carter kind of bottled up by the Knicks. They'll play game 2 Thursday night. Where? On TNT. Coming your way next on TNT, Magic and the Bucks. You excited about this one, Chuck?
Big time, baby. Watch out for Orlando.
I'll take Milwaukee just to make it interesting. It's next, TNT.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Daytech Online. Believe it or not, all online brokers are not the same. Daytech Online, built to trade. by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. And by Nestle Butterfinger. Bite my Butterfinger.
Welcome back to the sold-out Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Just moments ago, the fans went crazy when they unveiled the Central Division Championship banner. And now let's have a look at tonight's Gatorade starting lineups. As you look at the Magic, Mike Miller, one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year, starting at the off-guard spot. He has been a major factor in the success of Orlando, and you note that Mark Pope is starting in the middle for the Bucks. The Bucks are 30-15 when Pope starts the ball game. So those are our starting lineups tonight, and we are moments away from tipping it off here as you look at the Bucks.
Bob, it will be interesting to see how they come out and match up to start the game. During the regular season, there were a couple times where Doc Rivers experimented and played Mike Miller on Cassell. The reason being Cassell is affected by taller, bigger players. Armstrong, therefore, can play Allen. Allen would be too tough for the rookie Miller off the dribble. So, therefore, a smaller, quicker guy on Allen, try and crowd him, make him put it on the floor, put a bigger man on Cassell, take away his post-ups, affect his jump shooting.
Take a look at Doc Rivers. This will be the first playoff game for Doc Rivers as a head coach. He was Coach of the Year last year, and this year he's had to deal with 7 new faces and, of course, the loss of Grant Hill, but nevertheless has Orlando as the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs against George Karl. George has coached in 102 playoff games. This is his 11th playoff series, including the finals back in 1996. Both of them are happy. They've just had recent contract extensions.
You think about that. George coaching 102 playoff games. Doc has coached 164 games, regular season combined. So you have 2 ends of the spectrum, but I think everybody realizes Doc Rivers, Coach of the Year last year, probably will get a number of votes again this year. George Karl has done just a fantastic job taking this franchise and bringing it back to the success it had enjoyed almost over a decade ago.
Well, and the fans have sensed that. 15 regular season sellouts here. Tonight is sold out again, and basketball fever has come back to Milwaukee. Last time the Bucks won the Central Division Championship was in the 85-86 season. So it's been 15 long years here in Milwaukee.
You know, as successful as last year was, they only had 3 sellouts. You mentioned 15 now this year, so you can see how the city has captured, okay, has put their arms around and embraced this team. And listen to the crowd. You think you're almost in Sacramento, but it's Milwaukee.
Welcome to those watching in Canada on TSN. We are underway, and the Bucks in their white uniforms. Ray Allen gets the tip over to Sam Cassell. Sam averaging 18 and change from the point guard spot. Here's the big dog, Glenn Robinson. Ray Allen misses from long range. Rebound, Orlando.
Keep in mind, as the game goes on, Milwaukee is primarily a jump shooting team. You must chase them hard. You must follow them and make them put the ball on the floor because their 3 main guys are all jump shooters.
Speaking of main guy, Tracy McGrady tries his first shot of the game. He misses, still scores. Back come the Bucks. Sam Cassell pulled up, blocked by DeClerc. Out to Robinson. Neither team has been able to score so far. Bo Outlaw with a rebound for the Orlando Magic. Tracy McGrady defended by Glenn Robinson.
One of the big decisions that Doc Rivers and his staff had to make is Mike Miller tees it up and opens it up with a 3 from the downtown area. Should they change their style of play for the playoffs? They know that they can't go up and down all night. But basically, that's how they play during the season, the freedom to shoot offensively. Milwaukee has as many shooters and much more depth. That's the problem. Doc decided we're going to go after it.
You see there that Mike Miller, who at 6'7", so much bigger than Sam Cassell, but obviously not as quick, is matched up on him on that last play. But right now, 3-0 Orlando. McGrady on the drive is fouled out on the floor.
I think what you have right there is a difficult matchup as far as Milwaukee's concerned. Robinson trying to play McGrady. McGrady with that quick, long step. You have to respect the fact that he's a good shooter from the outside. The bump that time by Robinson. And now ball side out to the Magic.
Yeah, if there's any way to slow down Glenn Robinson, of course, it's to make him work so hard on defense. We'll see how that develops as this night goes on. Tracy McGrady turns it over. Pope, I thought was going to turn it back, but no call. Williams to Glenn Robinson. No! Rebound to Clark, kept alive by Tracy McGrady. Milwaukee is 0 for 5 to open this ball game. McGrady. It is 5-0.
In transition, bad matchup that time for Milwaukee. It was either Pope that was going to play him or Williams had a switch on the little pick and roll. McGrady knew he had him at his mercy, wound up pulling up for the jumper.
Now Miller on Robinson. Robinson throws up the air ball. Back come the Magic, leading 5-0. It's 0 for 6 from the floor for the Bucks to begin this ball game. Inside, DeClerc with a jam. 7-0 Orlando.
Tracy McGrady kept his head up. His eyes looked over the whole court. He saw the double team coming from the baseline, found his teammate underneath.
The crowd getting in, looking for some offense here. Robinson having trouble with the handle. Cassell looking to penetrate. Finds Scotty Williams, and Bo Outlaw got a piece of that one. And a piece of Williams. McGrady. Rebound, Scotty Williams. Bucks now 0 for 7 shooting the basketball to start this game. Cassell's pulling up for 18. Not this time. Ray Allen, he's fouled hard.
In transition, as Cassell came down, Mike Miller was right there in his face. And when Cassell elevated, Miller made sure that he extended fully. He made Sam put just a little more arc on the basketball, causing another miss.
Andrew DeClerc picked up the personal foul. This is his first playoff game. DeClerc is foul prone. John Amici, the Brit, will come in and back up at center. Actually, John Amici grew up in England, but he was born in Boston. We'll talk about him more when he comes in the game. Ray Allen.
This Milwaukee team, an excellent free throw shooting team, shooting almost 79% from the free throw line for the regular season.
7-2 Orlando. Mike Miller, one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. McGrady foul before he can start the drive.
We can notice because of the quick first foul on Glenn Robinson, Milwaukee has already changed their defensive assignments. Pope is now playing McGrady. They have Robinson playing outlaw, who takes much fewer shots than Tracy McGrady. So they're saying they'll sacrifice Pope but not Robinson.
Orlando, Williams got a piece of that one as Armstrong put it up, but the offensive board goes to the Magic. Here is McGrady over the double team. Miller with a heads-up play. However, it went off Robinson and then back off Miller, so it'll be Bucks ball.
Good call by the official on the baseline.
7-2 Orlando. 8:27 to go, first quarter from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Now Armstrong smashed up on Robinson. Too much. Robinson backs him in and hits the 8-footer.
2-3 side pick and roll. Orlando came out and decided that they were going to switch that. And then when the bigger man got down deep enough, Robinson against Armstrong, they were supposed to come and double team. They may have to come a little sooner next time.
Miller inside to McGrady. McGrady, Armstrong from the baseline. Remember Darrell Armstrong playing with a very sore groin. Pope gets inside. He tunks it off, and we've got a foul. Both Pope and Williams got inside there. Too much big man firepower. And that foul was on Miller.
I mentioned earlier that this Milwaukee team is an outstanding free throw shooting team, but they don't get to the foul line very often. They're ranked right at the bottom of the league in number of free throw attempts per game that they take, just under 23 a game. So if you got to the line a little bit more, you can take advantage of the fact that you're a great free throw shooting team.
Scott Williams, 86%. Only 50 on that possession, but Glenn Robinson comes down with the offensive rebound. Armstrong trying to defend Cassell. It's going to be a tough night for Armstrong with a groin injury. Now the switch. After Robinson again. Knocked out of bounds by a hustling Bo Outlaw.
If there's a guy that you want coming on the double team as a defensive team, it's Outlaw. As an offensive team, you want to keep him away. He's so long and active and quick.
10 on the shot clock for the Bucks. Now Miller on Cassell, tries to penetrate, pulls up to a double team, 3 on the shot clock. Robinson, finger roll, jammed back down inside by Scotty Williams.
Once the ball gets inside the defense and penetrates, you get people scrambling to step up and stop it. There's no one left to block out.
McGrady, good pass to Clerc off the glass. It's 11-7 Orlando.
Tracy McGrady played this game at an easy pace. It seems like it's just not hard for him.
Think of a few other players we say that about, and they're all big stars. Imagine him with Grant Hill. Tracy McGrady. Not this time. He's off to a slow jump shooting start. We have a foul on Milwaukee.
I have to laugh at myself. I found myself in a mini debate prior to the game, saying whether or not he was 20 or 21. Let's keep an eye under the basket on the blockout position right there. You see Outlaw has the arm hooked in. Pope, however, gets called for the foul.
And that's 2 on Pope. Armstrong with the drive. And Outlaw missed the jam, but the turnover comes back to Darrell Armstrong. McGrady, pass inside. Outlaw gets the foul, doesn't get it to fall.
That's the great thing about players like Armstrong and Outlaw. Outlaw misses a dunk. He could very easily hang his head. Instead, his teammate goes back and gets the basketball back for him and then gets it right back into the same guy's hands who wound up missing the dunk. And now, as a result of hard work, second effort, 2 free throws will come up.
Personal foul on Ray Allen, his first, and Outlaw steps to the line. That's not good news for Orlando. He's a 57% free throw shooter. Talk about Tracy McGrady off to a poor shooting start. 1 of 5 from the floor is Tracy early in this game.
Yeah, but how about the looks, the easy baskets that he's gotten for his teammates? He may not be shooting it well, but he's finding the other people as they're running a second guy at him.
He's candidate for most improved player as Outlaw gets 1 out of 2. And versus Milwaukee this year, he's scoring more than his average. 28-3, 43% field goals, and averaging nearly 8 rebounds. So McGrady has played well against the Bucks earlier this year. That's on Armstrong.
At a 21 years old, going over the 30-point mark 26 times already, 5 times over the 40-point mark.
Scotty Williams left alone for the jumper. He's got that. The court did not get out on him. And we have 12-9 Orlando. That's 5 points for Williams early in this game. Nice pass to DeClerc from Miller. Another Milwaukee foul.
If Andrew DeClerc keeps being in the right spot, he may wind up with the highest field goal percentage in the league and be one of its leading scorers with the way his teammates are finding him right now for open chippies, basically.
And Tim Thomas checks into the game, one of the 6-man candidates. He's been playing with a sore right shoulder. But George Karl says he thinks he's ready to give him his usual minutes of 25-26 tonight.
Practiced the last 2 days. After the first day, he said he was sore. After yesterday's practice, he said, I'm 100% ready to go. We heard George tell him this morning in the locker room, you better be ready to go today. We need you.
How about this? We talk about Milwaukee's bench and how much more superior they've been this year over Orlando. Tim Thomas, when he's on the floor, the Bucks have a plus 57-point margin. So that'll tell you his impact when he's out there. Cassell got in trouble in the air, almost turned it over. Thomas bails him out and gives it back. 13 on the shot clock for Glenn Robinson. McGrady defending. Stronger Robinson gets down inside. The ball batted way back out here and saved by Thomas. Allen penetrates. Cassell misses the 3. Rebound McGrady.
Of course, McGrady is such a good defender. They did not have to come and double team Robinson the last time down.
McGrady called for the offensive foul. So that's the first on McGrady. Glenn Robinson, by the way, has 2 for Milwaukee. We have a timeout with 5:32 to go in the first quarter. 13-9 Orlando.
In our eyes, it's not a big concern. But in the public eye, yeah, it's a big concern. Saying that we probably have no chance of beating these guys. But it's a different season. It's a different season. I don't think the Bucks been out of the first round. I don't think they. I don't think they're that good. You know, I think if we can really slow down that big 3 and not let the other guys get off, then we'll give ourselves a great chance of winning. But we just have to believe that, and we just got to go out and do it. We just can't talk about it. We got to really go out and take care of our business.
I think what the youngster's trying to do is lead his team here, give them belief. He is correct. It's been 12 years since Milwaukee did get out of the first round. And McGrady trying to instill the confidence in his team that, look, the regular season's behind us. We can't do anything but learn from that. We start over again. We can steal one here, go back home, and have our crowd rooting just as hard for us.
35, Jason Caffey in for Milwaukee. Ray Allen hits the triple from the corner, his first bucket of the night. Prior to that, he was 0 for 2. Cassell has been 0 for 4, and Robinson only 1 of 5 for the Bucks. But it's 13-12, the Magic by 1. Outlaw is fouled by Jason Caffey.
Right now, if you are Orlando, you're a little concerned because you lead by 1, but Milwaukee, which is 7th best shooting team in the NBA this year, is shooting only 25% from the floor, and they're down only 1 point. So if your defense can stay that consistent throughout the rest of the game, you're in good shape. But you would think that Milwaukee might heat up a little bit as you get going.
Bo Outlaw to the free throw line again. He was 1 out of 2 last trip here. I told you he's a 57% free throw shooter. There's Doc Rivers, of course, a great point guard in his career, talking to Darrell Armstrong.
If Bo doesn't get this free throw straight now, Doc may send him down to work with Shaquille in the offseason. But Shaq seems to have it going now at the foul line.
Orlando, the 26th best free throw shooting team in the league at only 71%. 13-12. Cassell with a drive and the foul. And that's going to be on DeClerc, his second.
The key to this whole series, watch how Cassell keeps his dribble alive. Right there. He turns his back. You think he's going to pick it up and pass it. Instead, he continues on down the lane, makes the shot, and gets fouled.
This is the first lead for Milwaukee, 14-13. Cassell hoping to add to it. John Amici has checked into the game for Andrew DeClerc at center. Amici in his 3rd year, 6'10". Told you before, born in Boston, raised in Stockport, England. McGrady, oh my, what athleticism. Rebound, Scott Williams. 4:35 to go in the first quarter. First lead for the Bucks. Scott Williams, the ball fake, 13-footer. Scott Williams off to a great start here tonight. Scotty has 7. 17-13.
The last great season that Scott Williams had was back in Chicago days. When that season ended, he signed as a free agent with Philadelphia. It seems like since that time, oh, what a great move that time by McGrady. Talk about finishing strong with his left hand.
And one, Tim Thomas with the foul. You saw there was nearly an altercation. Watch after this play.
McGrady knew that Thomas was going to go up after it. He's got Williams on his back, so he decided to take no chances. Let me get it inside the rim, then I'll go to the free throw line for the three-point opportunity.
That stopped an 8-0 Milwaukee run, and here is Tracy McGrady. Candidate for the most improved player. They call him T-Mac. Sometimes the big sleep. They say he takes a nap every time you turn around. 73% free throw shooter. He converts the three-point play. It's 17-16 Milwaukee. Cassell. That deep penetration, couldn't hit the short shot. John Amici with a rebound.
Cassell puts great pressure on the defense. He keeps coming at you with the dribble. You saw him race it down after the free throw, pull it back out, and then go again.
Good ball movement. Amici from long range. That's certainly not his shot. How about the rebound from McGrady? Now, Orlando has retaken the lead with 3:41 to go in the first quarter.
Tracy McGrady has a real good understanding of what this playoff intensity is all about.
And it's his first playoff. Yeah. Actually, second. It's his... Now, I just want to get this straight. It's his 3rd playoff game.
Well, is it first, second, or third? Which one is it?
It's the 3rd.
I want to get this straight.
It's the 3rd. Okay. I want to get it straight early on. We'll be counting a lot of playoff games for him, probably. I get Grant Hill back.
And next game will be his 4th.
Exactly what
I got it now. I'm catching on.
I have an abacus here that I'm keeping track of it with. You probably don't even remember what that is. Scotty Williams off to Ray Allen. Gets inside. 3-second violation, and the ball will turn over. 2:59 to go in quarter number one. 18-17 Orlando. Tomorrow night, we have a doubleheader on TNT. In Game 1, the Hornets meet the Heat, followed by the Timberwolves and Spurs. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern Time. Then Tuesday night, a doubleheader on TBS. In Game 1, the Pacers take on the Sixers, followed by the Mavericks and the Jazz. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern Time on Tuesday. How about those numbers?
They are the big three. They just haven't gotten out of the gates quickly. Robinson 1 for 5, Cassell 1 for 6, Allen 1 for 3.
Jan Amici, defended by Irvin Johnson, who just checked into the ball game for Pope. Amici inside, rattled in and out of there. They want to go more to Amici and get him to be an offensive impact player here when he's in the ball game. Ray Allen. Tim Thomas. Rebound Outlaw. That's his fourth. Amici. He's a big man, 6'10", 260.
Think about the decision he had to make. The Lakers offered him a 6-year, $17 million contract to go there and be Shaq's backup center. He turned it down, signed for 1 year, about $600,000 with Orlando, and will be a free agent again at the end of this year. So a major decision in his life, obviously.
You know, he has a master's degree in psychology, so you got to figure he knew what he was doing. Wave it off. Have the violation. 3 seconds called. That's the second time it's been called on the Bucks, but they come right back with a turnover. Allen to Irvin Johnson out high, and Cassell corrals the loose ball. Ray Allen defended by Armstrong. Amici steps out. That leaves Irvin Johnson on the baseline. Jason Caffey with a rebound, can't put it back. Here's Armstrong. McGrady, Miller's down underneath. McGrady, Miller draws the foul. And that's going to be on Tim Thomas, his second in limited minutes since he came in off the bench. Now Lindsey Hunter is coming into the ball game for the Bucks for Sam Cassell. Lindsey Hunter, one of the bench acquisitions for Milwaukee in the offseason that's really strengthened them.
Well, and George Karl feels he needs a defensive stopper in the backcourt. In comes Lindsey Hunter. We also know that he's capable of giving them points on the board quickly. He has range on his jump shot, so it's a terrific addition to this franchise, picking up Lindsey Hunter.
Magic by 5 with 1:16 remaining in the first quarter. Allen beats Miller off the dribble, kicks it out. Lindsey Hunter. Miller comes up with a loose ball, but we're going to get a foul on Miller. I can't believe it.
And Doc Rivers is saying, how could it be? There's a loose ball on the floor. We want players to be aggressive. They're both just diving for it. So what? There's a collision. Doc feels that's part of basketball. It should be no call.
And it's Mike Miller's second personal with 1:05 to go in the first quarter. Big call.
The Doc is probably going to take Mike Miller out of the game as soon as he winds up talking to the official. Johnny Davis, his assistant, reminding Doc, Miller's got 2. We may want to sub right now.
Lindsey Hunter hits the free throw, and we're going to get a sub. Coming in the ball game, D. Brown, the veteran, 11th year, his 28th playoff game. He has the most playoff experience of any of the players on this young Orlando Magic team. 22-19 Magic. Under a minute to go, first quarter. McGrady over the double team. Rebound Caffey. Lindsey Hunter.
Good defensive job that time by Milwaukee. They stayed down, stayed in their stance, didn't go for the ball fakes, kept their body between McGrady and the basket.
McGrady defending Ray Allen. We've got a loose ball foul, and it's going to be on Orlando, and Armstrong is down. Let's see if he's all right. Remember, he comes in with the groin injury.
Harold Armstrong is always down. Every game he's on the floor.
So is this guy.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers.
As
you would know.
Yeah, he was a wonderful player during our years together in Atlanta. I was very fortunate to wind up with Doc, who they projected was going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. Wound up sliding into the second round, and we were able to get Doc in the second round. And I was a lucky coach.
Went to Proviso East High School, near West Side suburb in Chicago. Played at Marquette here in Milwaukee. It's going to be Bucks ball with 30.5 seconds to go in the first quarter. They'll get yet another opportunity here, trailing 22-19. D. Brown defending Lindsey Hunter. Nice screen. Tim Thomas. On the drive, he falls. We're going to get a tipped ball. No, that's a foul. That'll be his second. Said he tripped him. He also kicked the ball.
Looked to be just a little bit of incidental contact as Thomas goes to put the ball. Her feet actually get tied up. You can see the right foot of Thomas gets tied up with the right foot of McGrady. He goes down, foul is called, and now T-Mac will have to take a break.
So Mike Miller has 2 fouls, as does Tracy McGrady. Tim Thomas, 77% free throw shooter. Pat Garrity coming in. Monty Williams also for this final 19.5 seconds of the first period. It's 22-21.
Must protect the ball around Lindsey Hunter. He always likes to stick that hand in and get a piece, a little flick or steal.
Troy Hudson in here for this final few moments. Hudson, number 11. Can create off the dribble, as you see, but the ball won't go. No whistle. And at the end of one, the Magic lead 22-21, and Orlando holds Milwaukee, the second highest scoring team in the NBA, to 26% field goal shooting in quarter number 1. Orlando jumped out to a 7-0 lead, forced 26% shooting and 5 Milwaukee turnovers, and lead it by 1 going into the second period. Here's tonight's American Express leaderboard. The top scorers early in the playoffs. Tim Duncan leading the way with 33. Now this is the quarter in the 4 matchups this year in the regular season that Milwaukee has blown the game open. There is Garrity, and when he comes in, think of nothing else. Perimeter shooting.
Well, you mentioned that Milwaukee has had a big second quarter on a regular basis throughout the course of the season. The reason for that is because they are such a deep basketball team, and normally at the end of the first quarter, going into the second quarter, is when your bench or second unit comes on the floor, and that's where they have dominated so many other team backup players.
Amici very aggressive in the paint since he's come into the ball game for DeClercq. As he backs in, he gets fouled, and that is Jason Caffey, who's picked up his second personal.
You know, early in the game, we mentioned that Milwaukee was an excellent free throw shooting team. One of the problems we said, however, is they don't get to the free throw line very often, under 23 a game. Yet, on the other end, Orlando fouls a lot. So when you look at the first quarter stat sheet, Milwaukee has already taken 11 free throws at the end of the first quarter.
Michi 1 out of 2, and the Magic lead it by 5, 26-21. Biggest lead for Orlando has been 7. Troy Hudson trying to defend Ray Allen. Allen tries glass. Irvin Johnson soaring in for the putback. Monty Williams. Tipped away as he drives inside. Ray Allen. Tim Thomas. Goes glass. Remember, Milwaukee is plus 57 in the 4 games they've been played in the regular season over Orlando. The team is when Tim Thomas is on the floor. 1-point Orlando lead. Garrity.
See, Amici has a very difficult time against long, active players. Johnson will bother Amici if he stays on the ground and doesn't go for the ball fakes and head fakes, and he will give problems because Amici has no lift. He doesn't get up in the air. He uses his body to shoot with either hand, right hand or left hand. Nice job by Johnson that time.
Tim Thomas powering his way inside. Irvin Johnson comes up with a rebound, and he's fouled by Amici. That's his second.
Yeah, and that should not be any shot attempts because he actually ran into him while he was still on the ground. That's where the collision took place.
It'll be sidelines inbound. Cassell back into the ball game, and Ray Allen will go to the bench. Lindsey Hunter tries the 3. Rebound Robinson. 27-28, a 1-point deficit for the Bucks. Troy Hudson continues at the point for Orlando.
Milwaukee really pounding Orlando on the offensive board. And that shot goes up. You've got to put a body and slow Milwaukee down. They're running over the top of them getting to the glass.
7 on the shot clock. D. Brown gets the 3. 31-27. Orlando. Cathy leaks out early and gets the two-handed throwdown as Garrity was late getting back on transition. D. Brown yet again a triple. 34-29. Robinson's going to drive into the paint. Nice dish off inside. Irvin Johnson from Glenn Robinson.
Would you classify this as not necessarily a defensive gem that we're watching?
It's not a kind of game you would be coaching, I know that.
But the people are happy. Everyone's happy because the basketball is going into hoop. Will put a lot of points up on the scoreboard.
Michi tries the running hook. It rims out. 34-31 Orlando. Sam Cassell with a good ball fake, got D. Brown on his heels, and Cassell knocks it down. It's a 1-point Orlando lead.
Doc Rivers had to make a decision whether to slow the game down or stay with the same tempo. He's built this team with the young players and the offensive people that he has here. Troy Hudson goes to the basket for the layup. Kind of like Milwaukee plays. They're an offensive team first. Defensively, Doc will continue to build this team over the years. But George Karl mentioned to us, this is different. Steal for Orlando, and they'll try and get an easy one here.
Williams goes to Troy Hudson, who missed the layup, and back comes Glenn Robinson. A blown opportunity. That was blocked from behind by Monty Williams. It'll be Milwaukee ball.
I was mentioning the fact that George Karl said, this is new for me. Letting them go, playing offense all the time, and defense cupping secondary.
Magic lead it by 3, 7:36 to go in the first half. Orlando got 3 key three-point shots, and they continue to lead by 3, 36-33. Before we get back to action, let's take a look at the Emmy Award-winning drama that's coming to TNT.
Coming this June, get caught up in the Emmy Award-winning drama, Law and Order, Tuesdays at 8 on TNT.
Welcome back. You take a look at the stat line thus far in the game with 7 and change left in the second quarter. Milwaukee only shooting 35%, and you notice Orlando 4 out of 5 from beyond the arc.
And I'm sure that Doc Rivers got his message across to this unit coming on the floor in the second quarter that you must do more than just hold your own against them. Right now, as Johnson scores inside after a little pump fake there. Right now, Magic bench 18-14 since this second quarter has begun.
1-point Orlando lead, 36-35. Grady back in the ball game, being defended by Glenn Robinson. Grady pulls it up and knocks it down. Tracy has 9. Cassell trying to drive on Brown. Gets him back on his heels like he did on the other side of the hoop, but misses the shot this time. Out to D. Brown. Garrity, look out. Jason Cappy up his face this time. McGrady gets Robinson airborne. Not this time. Rebound Amici. He's fouled by Cappy. And speaking of the bench playing, Troy Hudson's gone a long time. We'll see if there's anything up with the groin injury to Darrell Armstrong. He's getting quite an extensive rest.
And the longer he sits, the more apt it is to tighten up on him. And perhaps Doc Rivers will let the team keep going as it is. You know, Troy Hudson is actually a converted scorer. Yes, he was a point guard with the Clippers, but his first thought was score first in that role. When he came over, Doc Rivers tried to give him a different understanding of the point guard position. Doc finally said, you know what, he played better when I told him stop trying to make too many decisions. Just go. Whatever your first thought is, do that and play. It took a little bit of the burden off his decision-making process.
You know, he's a rap artist. His first CD comes out in May. Garrity trying to rip it loose, and we've got a jump ball. He's a rap artist. First CD.
I have to apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that or know that. He's a budding star.
Yep. Matter of fact, he says his stuff is better and more urgent than Shaquille O'Neal's.
Shaq is #1 on my list. He's got to show me something first.
Oh, when the CD comes out, we'll just see.
Buying all his CDs.
Probably put together a lot of that when he was playing with Yakima, Sioux Falls. Loose ball foul. It's on Cassell, and Cassell is flirting.
And here's Cassell's point. Cassell is saying it was a bad toss, that you should throw it up again. Yeah, I fouled him, but I fouled him because of the bad toss.
Sam is still explaining his position. To no avail as usual. 40-35. Orlando continuing to lead. Remember, this second quarter has been their Achilles heel in the series with Milwaukee. Bad pass. Robinson with the interception. Lindsey Hunter defended by D. Brown. Got a foul away from the ball on Pat Garrity. And that'll be his first personal. 5:54 to go in the first half of play. 40-35 Orlando.
Oh, yeah, I thought last year that we were hoping to just win some games. Making it out of the first round, we knew that we had played some pretty tough games against Indiana during the year, but, you know, at that point, we were like, let's win some games, and then we'll see what's going to happen. Let's try and get to a game 5. Now, you know, we're expecting to get this thing done, play some good basketball, come out and force our will on our opponents and move on. And, you know, we want to do it as, you know, in a business-type manner and go out there and win some games.
You know, in talking to John McLaughlin, the Milwaukee Bucks broadcast team, they said they noticed this change over the last 30 games in the season in this Milwaukee team. It was a more matured approach to it. As he said, more professional approach to it. I'm sure after going through that great series, losing the heartbreaking series to Indiana, this team came back with a lot more confidence and understand just how hard it is to move on in the playoffs.
Glenn Robinson has his shot blocked by McGrady. He comes back firing. Irvin Johnson goes over the back of Amici and is called for the foul.
Classic example for all those youngsters out there who don't jump very well. Guy much bigger, much better leaping ability. Johnson on the back of Amici. Amici, good blockout position, gets off the ground. Not quite as high as I do. Still was able to box him out and pick up the foul on Johnson.
I've seen some of your leaping. 5:27 to go in the first half. 5-point Orlando lead. McGrady working on Robinson. Bad pass collected by Scotty Williams. The big three for Milwaukee, only 5 of 21. Robinson just 2 for 7. He spins inside. Amici was there. The ball comes loose. Troy Hudson with it.
You know, part of the problem why Robinson may be shooting 2 for 9 is the fact that he has to guard McGrady right now with this matchup on the floor. McGrady can give you nightmares, you know.
Troy Hudson had the open look, couldn't hit it. 40-35 remains the score. Now Hudson matched on Glenn Robinson. Look out. Easy pass. Irvin Johnson. And Irvin Johnson has 8, and he's 4 out of 5 from the floor.
Johnson with 8, Scott Williams with 7. The reason being because so much attention is being paid to the main 3 guys, that the lesser players are getting easier shots right now.
Tracy McGrady has 11, 42-37 Orlando. Yeah, Irvin Johnson has his season high versus Orlando in their last game this year. He had 13. Scotty Williams over Amici. 4 minutes to go in the half. McGrady, not this time. The rebound, Irvin Johnson.
Irvin Johnson's averaging just over 3 points per game.
Yeah, he loves to see the magic coming. Have some substitutions now. Tim Thomas and Ray Allen into the game for Milwaukee. Darrell Armstrong is back along with Mike Miller for Orlando. That was Garrity's personal, and he has 2. 3:49 to go in the half.
A trio from Milwaukee that averages a combined total of over 62 points per game. Just 14 points right now. 16 points with Ray Allen hitting the jumper.
Once again, a 1-point Orlando lead. Every time the Bucks have gotten to within 1, Orlando has answered.
And it seems that it's always been a big 3-point shot that's done it for Orlando. Right when Milwaukee seems like they're going to turn the corner and come back.
Armstrong tried to drive, ran right into Williams. Cassell up with the ball. And Cassell may be injured. He's certainly hurting. Oh, he's up.
Armstrong can't beat Williams on the reverse spin. The next player, Thomas, gets a hand in there, and then the collision as Cassell tries to come up with the ball.
And the personal was on Darrell Armstrong, his second. Cassell goes to the free throw line. Sam's an 86% free throw shooter. Out of Florida State, Sam Cassell in his 8th year. He's not shooting. They're going to inbound the ball. Nice fake by Sam.
Well, Sam wanted to shoot. Well, he's always willing to go up to the line, pick up a couple extra points.
14 fouls on the Magic. Also 4 on the Bucks. They'll be shooting in a minute. Cassell misses. Williams follows. What a first half for Scotty Williams. He has 11. He averages only 6 points a game. And now the Bucks have finally gotten the lead back at 43-42.
You had one player rotate on the Magic to try and help out. 2 more players went for the block shot. There was no one left to block out. Therefore, the offensive rebound and score for Milwaukee.
And Doc Rivers wants a timeout. The crowd back in this thing. Scotty Williams, 11 points. He's 5 out of 6 from the floor, and also has 8 rebounds as the Bucks have regained the lead.
Well, we certainly didn't expect to finish like that in a close game that was, nip and tuck for 3 quarters. We had a game plan come out the 4th quarter, and we were able to execute it.
And you see the story in that Portland Lakers game, 106-93, and Kobe Bryant pulled up with a possible rib injury in the game. We're trying to see how serious it was. He came back and played and combined with Shaq for 52.
It looked like the Lakers were going to try to put Portland away early. To their credit, Portland hung in. They came back, actually took the lead, and were an even game after 3 quarters in essence, and then that 15-zip run to start the 4th quarter by the Lakers basically ended it.
The Clark got the ball inside to Outlaw, who nearly blew the layup, but got it go down, and Orlando just stopped an 8-2 run for Milwaukee after the Magic had led 40-35. It's now 44-43. Orlando. Ray Allen, fadeaway jumper over Darrell Armstrong. Allen starting to heat up. Has 9. McGrady over Thomas. Rebound Glenn Robinson. Thomas stopped by Miller. 2:13 to go in the half. Outlaw now on Sam Cassell. Beats him off the dribble. Outlaw knocks the ball loose. Scotty Williams pounds inside. Offensive foul, a call from Ronnie Nunn.
Darrell Armstrong goes right over to the youngster Mike Miller, gives a little pat on the back and says, good job of hanging in there, good defensive position. Basically, Scott Williams tries to run over the top of him. There's Miller in front, or DeClerc rather, in front, who took the charge, and the offensive foul is called.
Miller, ball fake. Darrell Armstrong misses the three. Robinson with yet another rebound. He's getting a lot of those long rebounds. He has 8. Thomas blows by Outlaw. Offensive foul on Tim Thomas. That's his 3rd personal.
All right, now I want to get it straight. It was Andrew DeClerc that wound up stepping up. And the ball is well out of his hands after the pass is gone. Here's the collision. DeClerc, sacrificing his body, takes the offensive foul.
You're nothing if you're not honest. All about accuracy. Bo Outlaw pounding inside against Tim Thomas. That's going to be a travel call. Bo Outlaw is a tremendous defender. He does not have the best hands in the NBA.
He gets garbage points, meaning hard work points. Second shot opportunities, running the floor, getting some off the free throw line. And then he knows that his role with this team is to play excellent defense, be a factor on the glass for the Magic so that the other guys can do their scoring.
Coming up on the AT&T Halftime Report, Paul Pierce joins E.J. Penny and Charles in the studio. They'll have scores, highlights, analysis from all of today's playoff action. 45-44 Milwaukee, 1:15 to go in the half. Armstrong on Allen. Cappy. Scotty Williams, he's been a powerhouse in this first half. His 9th rebound. Under a minute. The clerk on Cappy. Cassell. Robinson with his 9th rebound.
You know that one of the things Doc Rivers is going to talk about is second shot opportunities. Sam Cassell, give him 3 chances, they're going to score.
Cassell went right downtown, right down the middle, laid it in, and it's a 3-point. Bucks lead, the crowd on their feet.
Milwaukee with 47 field goal attempts, Magic 37 attempts.
McGrady was fouled by Cassell out on the floor. And that's 2 on Sam.
Tracy McGrady with that quick, long first step and the ability to turn the corner. Cassell knows he's beaten, so he commits the foul.
Sam talking to Ronnie Nunn. He's done a lot of lobbying here in the first half. 18 seconds remaining.
You know, Senator Cole owns the team, the Milwaukee Buck team, so obviously Cassell looking to the future, maybe political career down the road.
Could very well be. If you talk to Sam, as you and I have, there's the senator. Sam could have a political career. You just have to chat with him. It's a 2-point Bucks lead. McGrady hoping to cut it to 1 with 18 seconds remaining in the half.
Tremendous commitment by Senator Cole to this team because, you know, this team basically would be together. There's only one player that could have an option at the end of this year. Otherwise, they're going to have this nucleus together, the entire team, for at least 2 more seasons. Their payroll now has moved up because of their commitment, extending some of the contracts. They're like number 7 in the league in payroll, which is a great commitment by the owner.
And there are those who think Milwaukee will come through these playoffs and win in the East. McGrady gets them both. 1-point game. Armstrong on Ray Allen. Allen breaking him down. Outlaw got a piece of that. Allen came right back. Tipped Williams. They exploded at the Bradley Center. The Bucks in the half on a 14-6 run and lead it by 3, 49-46.
That's a second shot opportunity by Ray Allen, and then another one by Scott Williams, and then one more to get it up on the glass. As the red light goes on, the ball goes in. It's a good shot.
And Williams with 13 points and 11 boards is with Sherrill.
Scott, the team obviously struggled in the first quarter. The big three weren't shooting the ball well, but yourself and also Irving Johnson really did a good job, especially on the offensive boards.
Yeah, you really nailed it, Sherrill. We had a 5-day layoff, and I think that might have held our big three a little bit. But we expect them to come back in the second half.
Are you a little bit concerned defensively that Orlando's still shooting the ball at a decent clip?
They really are. Garrity hit some big threes out there. D. Brown came off the bench and hit some threes for him. We're going to have to get out on those shooters a little bit better and keep an eye on Tracy McGrady.
All right, good luck in the second half. Let's come back to you, Bobby.
All right, so the Bucks end that half on a 14-6 run. And once again have been the dominant team in the second quarter, as they had been all year long against Orlando. We'll be joining Ernie Johnson right now. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. 3-point lead. Ernie.
Thank you very much, Bob. And it's the AT&T halftime report on another playoff night here on TNT. EJ, Kenny, Charles, Paul Pierce of the Celtics wrapping up his two-night stay here as our playoff analyst. And it's 49-46, the Bucks, the number 2 seed with the lead over the number 7 Magic. 49-46. Charles, you like Orlando in this?
I do like
in the series or in this game.
I don't. Well, I think they got a really good chance to win this series. I just don't think Milwaukee's dominant enough. But Tracy McGrady got to get some help. You got to get Amici can score inside where the Bucks are vulnerable, but also Mike Miller got to step up. I'm not sure Darrell Armstrong can help in this series because he's got his hands full with Cassell. But Amici and Mike Miller.
McGrady's got 13. Ray Allen's 9. Hey, Orlando Sentinel today. Orlando's McGrady versus Milwaukee's Allen. Who's better? George Karl says that Ray Allen is a better overall ball player than Tracy McGrady.
Well, he's on drugs. He's on drugs.
Wait, what, on the drug thing? Or with this? Okay.
That article right there. I like McGrady. He could do so many different things. I think he's a better rebounder, a better defender than Ray Allen, and I just don't see who. I just like McGrady.
Well, yeah, I think that there's two different things that just because someone says you're not Michael Jordan doesn't mean you're not a good player. And Ray Allen is a very good basketball player. But Tracy McGrady's on a different level. But I think in Milwaukee, in terms of what they do, everyone says they don't have a post present and they have a tough time scoring, but they get the ball different ways to the basket inside, and they do it on penetration. Here's Tim Thomas. He gets into the point where you want the ball at the post, so you don't have to have a post up. Scott Williams, this is where the post guys want the ball. In the middle, he gets it there on dribble penetration, so they get the same thing that you don't have to have a dominant post player off a dribble penetration.
49-46 Bucks at the break. This is the 2-7 matchup in the East, 2-7 matchup in the West. Happened earlier this afternoon at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. And guess what? Rasheed Wallace lost his temper. This is right at the half, and I think the ball came down somewhere, but somebody said something, and then Bill Spooner said something to Rasheed, and Rasheed went a little, how would you put it?
Yeah, you see, Spooner was not even in that play. That's the only thing that I defend Rasheed just a little bit. He's still a maniac, but I still defend him a little bit on that.
Oh, my goodness.
Lakers went on a 15-0 run to start the fourth quarter, broke open a 74-72 game and won at 106-93, outscoring Portland 32-21 in the final period. And so Lakers take a 1-0 lead, holding serve at the Staples Center. Game 2 of that series Thursday, part of a doubleheader on TNT. It will be Game 2. Got the feeling that Portland really needed something to happen right here to start feeling good about themselves after all the turmoil. Say, you know what? We got a chance in this thing. Do they still have a chance?
No. They had to win today. Because one thing about a veteran team, you know that once the playoffs start, everything starts over. They played like that the first two and a half, 3 quarters, but they had to win today. Can they beat the Lakers 3 out of 4 games? Not in your wildest dream, Ernie, and that's what they got to do right now.
I have to agree with Charles. I think today was...
You don't have to, but you may.
I think this was a great opportunity for Portland to take advantage of the Lakers on their home court, and I think with the win today, the Lakers kind of took some wind out of the Blazers.
The advantages that they normally had, they didn't have today in Portland. They have an advantage in the low post with Kobe Bryant last year with Bonzi Wells and Steve Smith posting him up. There was really no post-up game. Kobe held his own, and that was a big difference. Rashid still played well inside, but I think missing Bonzi is the key.
Kobe had 28 today to lead the Lakers. Also was bothered by a left rib.
Imagine that.
All I could think is a good thing he wasn't playing the bad boys because that thing would have been attacked. Do you agree?
And rightfully so.
Thank you very much, Charles. Charles agreed with me. What's the date? When we come back, Vince Carter, not exactly half amazing, as the Raptors square off with the Knicks for the second straight year.
The AT&T Halftime Report is brought to you by AT&T, proud sponsor of the NBA.
Halftime report, Suns playing the Kings at Arco Arena. Game 1 of that Western Conference best of 5. And watch Chris Webber. 68-66 Kings. The lead did not last. Rodney Rogers from way out there knocks it down and then holds it up for the world to see. Late in the game, Jason Williams with their last chance needed a 3 to tie. And the Scott Skiles and company scurry out of Arco with a 1-0 lead over the number 3 seed, the Sacramento Kings, 86-83. Next game is Wednesday night on TNT. Raptors and Knicks, Madison Square Garden. The block, purple shirts of the Toronto Raptors. Vince Carter, 44-41 at the break. Carter did not have a good day shooting the ball. Allen Houston, that's pure. Over Alvin Williams, he finished with 23. Knicks on top by 4. And then Charlie Ward, a big defensive play late in the game. And Vince Carter saying, look, I like cameras, but not right now. 92-85. The Knicks winners over the Raptors, keeping Toronto winless in their postseason history. They're now 0-4. They were swept last year and lose game 1 at the Garden. And Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern on TNT. That'll start off a doubleheader at the Garden in New York. Talk about both of those games right now. And Toronto trying to put the memory of last year and a sweep.
First of all, I hate when people say that last year don't have anything to do with this year.
Stuff doesn't stick with you?
Heck no. That's the biggest myth. That's like Scott Skiles played music.
Real loud to try to get him used to.
The crowd doesn't matter. You just got to play basketball. Vince Carter's got to put the ball down, go to the basket. They double him, pass it. When he gets it back, be aggressive, take the ball to the basket. Taking all those fadeaway jumpers, those hanging there, those things are not going to go in. He just got to be aggressive.
Kings give away home court in game 1.
Oh, they gave away home court, but I like that new Jason Kidd, where he's an offensive player now. Before, when he used to play against Jason Kidd or see him play, you would say, you know, give him the jump shot, you know, or you back up off him. But now that is his living. He is very comfortable coming off the screen, shooting jump shots, shooting threes. I've never seen it. He took 19 shots. When he takes 22, they'll win again if he plays that way.
Sacramento Kings losing today, and Jason Kidd, by the way, huge rebound late in that game too. He just does everything for you. What do you think right now if you're the Phoenix Suns and you go in there and you win game 1? Who do you like in this series, Paul?
Well, Phoenix is so dangerous. They have a lot of weapons. I think they have more offensive weapons than Sacramento. So this series can go either way. I think they turned the tide with taking home court advantage from Sacramento. This is a series that Phoenix can definitely win.
And they take the 1-0 lead. Back to put the finishing touch on the AT&T Halftime Report in just a second. Tracy McGrady, who some folks like better than Ray Allen. Pretty good first half.
T-Peso.
And look at that
right
lefty.
Get out of here. Don't come back.
Not you, Brewers.
The lakefront in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where their Milwaukee Bucks are leading it by 3, 49-46 at the half. Most people expected that the Milwaukee Bucks would be leading, but I don't think most people expected them to be leading in the manner by which they've taken this advantage. The big three have not been shooting the ball very well so far. However, how about this? A 32-17 rebounding edge for the Milwaukee Bucks, and they're getting some point production from the inside of players you wouldn't expect to be scoring this much.
I would think at halftime, both coaches are happy for different reasons. Doc Rivers happy that his team played defense as well as it did and held them to 38% shooting, giving up 17 offensive rebounds. On the other side, Carl happy because he got play out of his big people up front. And we see that Scott Williams right there now with the open jump shot, shooting 6 for 9 in the first half. And then Irvin Johnson shooting 4 for 5. He's in the right place with his hands ready to lay it up. And then no block out on the inside. He'll follow back up for the tip in. So between the two big people up front we're just talking about, Williams and Johnson is shooting 10 for 14. Remember, their season average, 9.3 points per game. They have 21 here tonight.
And you see 62% points in game from Robinson, Allen, Cassell, only 20 tonight. Well, what is Doc Rivers going to do in the second half? Moments ago, he talked to Cheryl Miller.
Well, Doc, obviously you guys did a decent job on the big three, 8 of 29. It was the rest of the team that hurt you.
Yeah, it's basically been the theme. You know, I was telling Coach Fratello before the game that that's exactly what we've been hurt by. You know, they're shooting 38%, and they needed 17 offensive rebounds to shoot 38%. That tells you your defense is good. And if we can take care of the glass, Cheryl, and take away some of the quick shots we're taking, I think we're in good shape in the second half.
All right, Doc, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Let's go back to you, Bob.
Okay, I noticed he said Coach Fratello. Is there something you want to tell us? A lot of changes going on around the league.
I want to talk to Doc, see what he knows. Maybe he can tell me something.
Orlando, we've got an offensive foul away from the ball as Orlando inbounded the ball. It was DeClerc who committed the foul away from the ball, and that is his third personal. So 49-46 as we begin the half. Orlando hanging in well, especially despite that 32-17 rebounding deficit. Magic get the rebound this time in the hands of Tracy McGrady, who was only 3 of 9. He had 13 points, but only 3 of 9 in the first half. And continues missing. DeClerc with a rebound and a heads-up play.
Doc Rivers probably told the team, how about us trying to take a turn on the offensive glass, come up with a couple extra shots here, since Milwaukee had 52 field goal attempts, and Magic only 37 in the first half.
And Armstrong's going to run down, and another offensive rebound. Outlaw out here to McGrady. McGrady's going to penetrate, goes into triple coverage, and draws the foul.
That time down the floor, the Magic come up with 3 field goal attempts themselves. Some hard work on the offensive boards, and some hard work by McGrady trying to get in the seam and turn the corner. He meets the two big people stepping up, Williams and Robinson for Milwaukee.
And Irvin Johnson picked up the personal. That will be Irvin's third personal foul as McGrady steps to the free throw line. I told you 13 points in the first half. He was 1 out of 1 at the free throw line. Tracy McGrady, you know the story, came out of high school at Mount Zion Christian Academy. This is his 4th year. He transferred from Auburndale, Florida High School to Mount Zion as a junior. Nobody thought too much about him until he played down there. Then his high school coach actually encouraged Tracy to go straight to the pros. You usually don't hear that story come out of high school, but the high school coach was right. Tracy just signed a $93 million 7-year contract. Robinson missing, and the defensive rebound to Mike Miller. Out quickly to Armstrong. Bad pass looking for McGrady. Back to Cassell. 51-48 Milwaukee.
Here's where the Magic tried to push it up on one end. Bad decision with the pass leads to an easy 2. So there's a 4-point swing in the game. 2 you don't get, 2 they do get.
McGrady's going to pull up just inside the line, and McGrady is not shooting well tonight. He is 5 of 16. Robinson 4-3. That's a triple from Glenn Robinson.
We'll see a timeout here by Doc Rivers because, remember, the margin of victory in the 4 games this year, in order, 9 points, 12, 12, 12. Doc Rivers knows this can open up all too quickly.
It's a 6-point lead for Milwaukee. It's their biggest lead of this ball game. Bucks have built their 3-point halftime lead to 6 now. That's Milwaukee's biggest lead in this game. Tomorrow night, a doubleheader on TNT in Game 1. Hornets meet the Heat, followed by the Timberwolves and Spurs. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then Tuesday night, a doubleheader on TBS. In Game 1, the Pacers take on the Sixers, followed by the Mavericks and the Jazz. Coverage begins at 7:30. Eastern Time as we head into playoff coverage here on Turner Sports. Hope you're enjoying it. We've got a good one here tonight. Armstrong left alone. Rebound by Pope. Mark Pope, who started the game, didn't play very much, got in early foul trouble. Cassell on the penetration. Pope with a follow. 56-48. Orlando has come out ice cold. Inside the Outlaw against Robinson. Up and under.
See, Doc Rivers is trying to make a decision. Who else does he get points from if it's not McGrady? Cassell with the up fake gets Miller in the air, steps into him. Smart veteran foul. He's going to go to the free throw line to shoot too. Remember, off the dribble on this basketball team, you have McGrady, and then who else is the next guy that's an off the dribble create a shot player for this team?
Troy Hudson.
Yeah, that's the only other one. So basically the other guys are jump shooters, and someone has to force a double team either down in the low post or by dribble penetration to open up those shooters. If that doesn't happen, as a coach, Doc Rivers keeps searching and searching, and you try and put different combinations on the floor. That's where he's hoping that Amici maybe can come in and draw a double team down low.
Armstrong and Miller at the guards. Don Reed playing in now at forward. Outlaw tried to hit him. It was broken up in the passing lane. Cassell back very quickly, runs into the double team. Miller right in his chest. Ray Allen beats Armstrong off the dribble. Kicks it to Pope. Cassell misses the three. Rebound, Bo Outlaw.
So the last time Outlaw was down the low post, they're trying to put the pressure on Robinson to play defense, but Outlaw tries to throw a one-handed off the dribble pass, loses control, they steal it.
Miller curls off the baseline. He can't hit it either. Loose ball foul on Orlando. That's Don Reed who picked up his first personal. Sellout crowd, 16,000 plus, 16th sellout of the year here at the Bradley Center. George Karl's Bucks have the Milwaukee populace excited about the NBA. Central Division champions. Inside, Scott Williams, he's handled.
Bob, I want to move ahead, Bob, okay? One season ahead. I know it's premature, but
you can't move ahead of season.
There's this guy on the bench there clapping for his team, Grant Hill. Yeah. All right. Well, the good news is that the second surgery here has gone very, very well, and it's healed up. It's closed. Okay, in the X-rays and the MRI they did, they show the thing is basically healed completely right now. So for next season, what you would have is talk about mismatches and getting somebody in the post. That's your point guard for next season. He'll be down there posting up all those smaller point guards with Miller and McGrady at the 2 and 3 spot. Now you've got to come and make some decisions whether you're going to double Grant Hill down there against the point guard.
Yeah, Doc told us if they would have made the finals this year that Grant Hill is actually healed enough to play. Tracy McGrady just inside the three-point line. It's 60-52, and Tracy has 17. Milwaukee was on an 11-2 run until that bucket by Tracy. Scott Williams stripped by Reed. Looked like a foul, no call. To Miller with a jam. Mike Miller, their #1 draft choice out of the University of Florida. He's in 6 categories of the top 10 categories of scoring and statistics for the rookies. 3rd in scoring, 1st in three-point percentage, and a strong candidate for Rookie of the Year. Ray Allen.
There's another one of those guys who seems like it's effortless for them out on the floor. We talked about McGrady in the first half. Allen, just sweet coming off the screen. Catches, elevates, and it's out of his hand.
Now Pope on McGrady. He'll pull up and knock it down. Now McGrady, who averages 26.8, nearly 27 a game, 7th in the NBA, is also streaky. I don't know if you can say streaky when he averages nearly 27, but he can get hot. As can Allen. Allen misses, and Don Reed gets the rebound.
You have so many players concerned about getting back on defense. And when the shot goes up right now, there's only like maybe 2 or 4 players left at the offensive end. The other 6 are down the other end already.
Lynn Robinson had the ball stripped, but they're going to call the foul on Bo Outlaw. And that'll be his first. 62-56. Bucks heavy favorites. A lot of people are predicting that Milwaukee will sweep this best-of-5 series. 3 games to none. Orlando doing their best to steal one here, knowing that there have been some upsets in the first round. Glenn Robinson goes to the offside, uses the rim to protect the shot, and draws the foul.
McGrady gets beat with the drop step here. Now McGrady thinks he's coming up on the left side of the rim. Robinson comes up on the right side, avoids the block attempt by McGrady. Up, he's not there. He's there on the other side. Nice little move that time by Robinson.
Glenn Robinson, already in his 7th year, it's hard for me to believe that. He is 5th on the all-time scoring lead list for the Milwaukee Bucks. Coming into this game, 10,644 points, and it's a 9-point Milwaukee lead, biggest of the game. Reed tried to tip it in, but he still got the offensive rebound. Back to McGrady, to Miller. Garrity, it's the 3. Pat Garrity from Notre Dame shoots 43% from outside the stripe. Now a 6-point Milwaukee lead. Williams looking for Glenn Robinson, defended by Tracy McGrady. See how much stronger Robinson is. Got his own offensive rebound stripped away. Scotty Williams. What a game he's having. Remember, he averages only 6 points a game, has 17 tonight, is 7 out of 10 from the floor.
Remember, we said in the first half, I don't know if I ever got a chance to complete the thought as the foul was called on Pope that time. Scott Williams' last real good year was coming out of Chicago. Then he signed as a free agent in Philadelphia, and the recollection is that he basically just been injured all the time since that point. Even last year, when they got him here, it seems that he'll go a string of games, be okay, then some kind of nagging injury comes up that knocks him out of the rhythm of flow. But this has been his most consistent year since that time in Chicago.
8-point Bucks lead. McGrady left alone for the jumper, and Tracy's starting to heat up now. Tracy has 21 already. It's a 6-point Bucks lead with 5:13 to go in the quarter, and Tracy, by the way, has 8 of his points in this period. Mark Pope. Good position by Scotty Williams, but Armstrong stripped it away to Bo Aldron. Armstrong trying to sweep Pope off the dribble. Pope, good footwork for defense. It's 7-6 on the shot clock. Armstrong misses. Robinson with the rebound, and Glenn has 12 points.
Now, perhaps it's because of the groin injury, but that time you had Armstrong with a 6'9", 6'10" player against him, and what he does is settle for a long jump shot instead of beating him off the dribble and creating.
Mark Pope from the corner. Miller keeps it alive, but it's off Milwaukee. Milwaukee, here comes Sam Cassell. Robbie and Tim Thompson got Cassell away.
We'll try to see whose hand it goes off of. That time it looked like it was off of Mike Miller's hand from that particular angle. That's what Sam Cassell was saying.
4:19 to go in the third. 6-point Bucks lead. Lobbed inside to McGrady with the two-hand throwdown from Darrell Armstrong. McGrady with 23. He has 11 in the quarter.
Orlando caught the Milwaukee Bucks big men up high, isolating on the weak side. The lob was there, no rotation from anyone.
Mike Miller with good defense on Cassell that time. Chance to pull to within 2 or better. Miller, ball fake. He's going to take the 17-footer. Cassell with a rebound. Outlet Robinson. Such a big, strong player with such finesse.
After the jump shot, a teammate must cover the backcourt for the jump shooter if he's close to the top of the circle area. That's what happened that time. Miller shot the jumper. His man Robinson ran out.
And Scotty Williams with yet another rebound. He has 14. Glenn Robinson has 12. Thomas for 3.
Bob, I was just about to say that it was a great timeout a little while ago by Doc Rivers. His team got back in the game. They cut it down to 4. All of a sudden, a 2 on the run out and a 3, and now all of a sudden the lead is up to 9.
And Scotty Williams with a very hard foul on Tracy McGrady. He's up. He's all right.
This is playoff basketball. You go into the basket, you're going to try and dunk it on the big man. He's going to make sure that you do not get to the rim. Scott Williams with a lot of playoff experience, championship teams with the Chicago Bulls. Now his team's got to settle him down. He's been a great contributor tonight. He can't lose his head trying to prove a point that he's a physical player.
He just called for a flagrant foul. That's one of the reasons he got so upset.
Man, that's a correct call. I mean, that's not even close.
McGrady will shoot the free throw. 2 shots and the ball. Quieten his crowd a bit. Boy, they are wild here in the Bradley Center.
Is the defense going for the ball or playing the body? Is he intentionally trying to knock the opponent down? That's a decision the official has to make. In their opinion, that was an easy one. It was a flagrant foul.
I'm gathering that's your opinion also.
I could see it in their eyes, the officials. That's how I knew that. A great eye reader from across the floor.
How about his eyes? How about Scott Williams? The eyes of the Tiger tonight. Scott Williams in this ball game with 17 and 14.
Double-double, 17-14. Here we are, 3 minutes to go in the third period. He's sitting down to get himself back together. Coaching staff do a little talking to him. They need him back out on the floor.
72-65 now. Just a moment ago, Orlando trailed by 9. 3 minutes to go in the third period. Ronnie Young at the scorer's table.
On the foul, it ends up hitting the rim, correct? Then we go to 24. Yeah, the ball went, and then the foul occurred, right? That's 24.
Resetting the 24-second clock. Ronnie Young explaining his reasoning to the scorer's table. All right, McGrady will trigger the play. That flagrant slowed down some of this crowd enthusiasm. Let's see how it affects Milwaukee. Inside to Bo Atwa. How about the block from Thomas? Allen for a triple.
There's a turnaround. What looks like a short 2 on a dunk is rejected, and it turns into a 3 at the other end of the floor.
And Milwaukee with their biggest lead, 75-65. They're on their feet, 16,000 at the Bradley Center. Armstrong comes back with a 3. Armstrong got away with a big push there. Ronnie Nunn said play on.
How can you push and shoot at the same time, Bob?
Minute 58 to go in the third quarter. Outlaw strips it. Robinson runs it down. 7 on the shot clock. Air ball from Robinson. There's a 3-point halftime lead. Bucks have built it to 7. They led by as many as 10 in this quarter. Milwaukee foul. It's going to be on Sam Cassell. Timeout on the floor. That's the 3rd on Cassell. It's a 7-point Bucks lead. Minute 39 to go in the third quarter.
Let's go back a few moments ago when Milwaukee started to open this thing up. Miller's teeing up the ball, looking at the rim. Cassell playing defense is going to run at him. Down low, here's Glenn Robinson watching what his move should be defensively. On the ball fake, Miller loses Cassell. Gets inside. Right here is when Robinson rotates up. When he rotates up, he keeps going. Armstrong, the teammate of the shooter, needs to rotate back and cover the backcourt. Miller shoots, Robinson challenges and keeps going. Armstrong stands, and as a result, the easy long pass, and then 2 points for Glenn Robinson.
75-68 Milwaukee. 13 on the shot clock. McGrady is fouled. It's going to be on Lindsey Hunter. And that's his first. So Tracy McGrady heating up now. He's 9 of 23 in the game. He's flawless at the free throw line, 7 out of 7, has 25 to go with 5 assists and 3 rebounds.
Bob, to show you the pressure that's on this young man, he has taken 23 field goal attempts, not counting the 7 free throws, now 8 free throws that he's taken. The other starters that started the game with him combined have taken 19 field goal attempts. So this is the burden that he carries, and he has carried it all season for the Orlando Magic and done quite a job in getting him here to the playoffs.
McGrady just set his playoff career high. His first playoff game for the Orlando Magic.
On the other hand, with Milwaukee, you've got the starters shooting 15, 10, 13, 15 shots respectively. The shot attempts have been dispersed amongst the starters.
10-point lead been cut to 5 now with 1:19 to go in the third period. Bucks led by 3 at the half. Robinson backing in on McGrady. McGrady blocked the hook. Oh, baby. He could only jump. We got an offensive foul. No, it's on Glenn Robinson. And that's his 4th.
Well, the screen is set by Armstrong. Robinson playing against the pick and roll just basically runs over the top of Armstrong. I mean, you have such a much bigger, stronger guy that weighs so much more. I mean, Armstrong wanted to hold his ground.
He wanted to be the man initiating contact, but Armstrong goes to the line. He's had another, we've said at the beginning of the ball game, he is the heart and soul, the emotional leader of this team, playing with the injured groin. He has played many minutes here tonight and seems to be holding his own despite the pain.
Armstrong, an 88% free throw shooter, and to their credit, you have to give Orlando a lot of credit. There are 2 times now, 2 runs that Milwaukee's had here in the second half where they're just about ready to tell Orlando to go home. This game is over tonight, but the Magic come back each time and closed it back down.
How about that? Irvin Johnson was open inside and about to throw it down when Garrity ran in from the top of the key to strip the ball. 13 on the shot clock. Lindsey Hunter catch and shoot. Outlaw with a rebound. It was a 10-point lead just moments ago. It's now down to 3 with 45 seconds.
Doc wants to get a quick shot here so they have a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Miller. Rebound, Irvin Johnson. 33 seconds in the period. Allen fouled by Darrell Armstrong. Bumped him in the back as he took the shot, and that's 3 on Armstrong.
I mentioned that Orlando was trying for the 2-for-1. Well, Ray Allen raced it right back at him because he saw how much time was left. Yeah. He got the quick one, and then Milwaukee should wind up with the last shot of this quarter.
Ray Allen gets them both. He has 16. 77-72. 3-point halftime lead. 5-point lead for the Bucks now. Armstrong's pull-up goes down. That's a 2. 3-point Bucks advantage with 18 seconds in the period. Orlando hanging around. Looking for the last shot is Ray Allen. Outlaw stepping out. Shot clock to 5. Tim Thomas. Oh, what a play. Tim Thomas drives the baseline. 1 second. Mike Miller. It's broken up by Cappy at the end of 3. Bucks 79, Magic 74 in the period. Tracy McGrady kept the Magic in there with 27 points total in the game, had 14 in the quarter. Here's tonight's budget rent-a-car fast break.
Some of these numbers really jump out at you. We look at fast break points here. We look at offensive rebounds, a 20-8 advantage, second chance points, 19-7. Bob, when you work that hard, running the floor, getting on the glass, what happens is you come up with what we call effort points, and that's where Milwaukee has the advantage.
It appears as though you may have written that on blackboards in locker rooms at halftime.
Just starting to come back little by little.
Big 3 starting to come back too. First half total 20. They had a total of 19 combined in the third quarter. But the big one for Orlando. Tracy McGrady had 14 in the period, and it's a 5-point Bucks lead with the final 12 minutes. E. Brown in now, defending Lindsey Hunter. Tim Thomas, defended by McGrady, who caused him to alter that shot.
Tracy McGrady, not only does he have to carry the offensive load, then he's got to guard Robinson and Tim Thomas. It doesn't get easier for him.
Now Milwaukee can bring good players at you in waves. Very deep bench. Garrity hits another three. He shoots 43%. Garrity is 3 out of 3 from beyond the arc tonight, and it is a 2-point game.
Seventh best in the league shooting the 3-point shot.
Caffey with a powerful drive to the basket goes glass.
Before it's all said and done, Caffey could be kind of like one of those X factors for Milwaukee throughout the playoffs, however long they are in this thing, because he's been playing better and better, and George Karl really likes when he gives him on the floor.
McGrady missed it, got his own rebound, kept it alive, and finally it's controlled by Ray Allen. Now that's playoff officiating. It was rough in there, no whistle. Irvin Johnson trailing, and he's fouled by Garrity. Let's see if this is flagrant.
And that's what the crowd wants, because they felt that he went after his head rather than the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Garrity tried to recover. He goes to the baseline, then tries to take the hard foul there, reaches for arms. There's no attempt at going after the basketball. Another good call by the official.
Irvin Johnson, only a 54% free throw shooter. Point. But he's one of the few bad free throw shooters. Milwaukee is third in the NBA as a team at 79%.
So if this was a baseball game, we just would see a pitcher retaliated to protect his hitter like the other team threw at the other guy, right? Same thing.
Well, if you want to go
flagrant foul, little payback.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Okay, it's a reach.
I said if it were baseball.
Caffey goes back hard to the hoop again. It's going to be Bucks ball off Orlando. Oh, now I get it. The retaliation play.
That's what I
had to think about it. Ray Allen left open. That's all you need to say, left open. 83-77, Allen has 18. Armstrong sets the pick, and Tim Thomas ran over him. I'll tell you, Darrell Armstrong is getting pounded when he sets those picks, but nevertheless, he continues to throw the body in there.
Instead of Small coming off big on the pick and roll, Orlando has gone to Small setting the screen and Big coming off on the pick and roll. Utah uses John Stockton to set a lot of screens on big people. Here we see Darrell Armstrong setting the screen.
Tim Thomas just picked up his 4th personal foul. Tracy McGrady kicks it. Garrity again. 4 out of 4 from beyond the arc. It's 83-80, and Garrity has 14 off the bench. Orlando will not go away. Now McGrady on Thomas. 5 on the shot clock. Lindsey Hunter with a ball fake. Beats D. Brown, just beat the buzzer. Armstrong with a rebound. I have a question. How do you ice the groin? He's going to have to be iced after this game.
You get a very good trainer that has a lot of experience in doing that, Bob. I wouldn't know personally.
I have to go to you for the medical questions. 83-80 Bucks, 9:07 to go in the game. Tim Thomas hits the 3 from the corner. 86-80. We said these are two explosive teams with a lot of firepower. Milwaukee, Orlando, they are respectively 2nd and 6th in scoring in the NBA. You see why. 10 on the clock for McGrady. Into the paint. Tracy McGrady heating up here, carrying this team on his shoulders. He has 29. Already set his playoff high when he scored his 26th point. Playoff high so far in the series is 33 by Tim Duncan. Mo Outlaw with the rebound. He has 9. 4-point Bucks lead. McGrady isolated against Tim Thomas. What a great matchup this is. Penetrates, kicks to D. Brown, open for the jumper. Rebound, Ray Allen. With authority, Jason Caffey. Muscle man.
A little bit of dribble penetration, draw defender. We see it right here as Ray Allen finds his big man, and just to emphasize it, let me throw it down my left hand.
Those 3 hot dogs will be joined by Paul Pierce, who will bring a little bit of dignity and poise to the Inside the NBA presented by Hyundai following our game. And by the way, they'll have highlights and analysis. 88-82 Milwaukee with 7:53 to go in the game.
Bob, there was a great little performance there during that timeout from the group that did some break dancing, very, very reminiscent of you during your younger days, spinning on their heads and shoulders.
There are no photos. But that's what happens when you grow up on the streets like I did. Sometimes you do that instead of getting mugged. 10 on the shot clock for Orlando. Armstrong kicks to Brown, back to Garrity, finally misses. He wasn't set to shoot that time, plus big Jason Caffey was running right at him. Now the Bucks have rebuilt the lead to 7 with 7:26 to go in the game. Mike Miller set to come back in for Orlando next break. Over the back, Irvin Johnson almost stole that rebound. Darrell Armstrong has to pull it up. McGrady. And it's going to be Milwaukee ball.
Darrell Armstrong tried to tip it back out to where he thought D. Brown was going to be. D. Brown moved to the right spot-up area. As a result, the ball goes out of bounds.
7-point Milwaukee lead. Their biggest lead in this game has been 10. The biggest lead for Orlando has been 7. They went off to a 7-0 start at the beginning. Clock inside 7 minutes. Outlaw defending Jason Caffey. He's unstoppable when he takes that big body inside. Draws the foul. And that personal will be on Outlaw, which is his 3rd.
It's the quickness. It's the quickness of Caffey versus the big people for Orlando. You don't anticipate that he's going to be that fast or get by you with just one dribble, but he does, and that's why I mentioned earlier, this guy could be very important to them as the playoffs go on.
Let's take a look at Wimbledon. The drama returns this June.
The drama of Wimbledon returns to TNT. Don't miss 2 weeks of daytime coverage of the best tennis in the world beginning June 25th.
Jason Caffey only got 1 out of the 2. It's an 8-point Bucks lead. Troy Hudson in the game at the point. Tracy McGrady only 1 of 5 this quarter. He's played 37 minutes in this game. Trying to break down Tim Thomas. Running hook, no. Rebound. Comes down to Lindsey Hunter. Out in front. Jason Caffey stripped beautifully by Garrity. That's 2 big strip plays by Garrity.
This is another what looks like to be sure layup for Caffey. You see his speed running the floor, and then Garrity running him down from behind. Small things that teams work on in practice. Not giving up on it, trying to get a hand in there, get a strip or a swipe before the team goes up for a layup.
Too much wrong with Tim Thomas. He went out of the ball game, and Glenn Robinson came in. We'll check that out. Cassell trying to get deep inside. He does and hits the jumper. How did he do it? Sam Cassell with 13. 10-point Milwaukee lead. Get a feeling that this is the last gasp here for Orlando. They need to come up with something, but Mike Miller goes to the baseline and loses the ball. Cassell starting to really feel it. He's been so active. And one! Irvin Johnson with the offensive board and the putback.
You knew that Sam Cassell was going to come down and shoot this one. He had just hit a baseline jumper over Garrity. He's coming down the middle of the floor with the ball, looking it over, flying from behind the top of the circle. There's Johnson. A little shuffle with his feet. It doesn't matter. Score and the foul.
Tim Thomas went off the floor with back spasms. Trainers working at him over in front of the Milwaukee bench. So Tim Thomas is right now working on that back. Don't know whether he'll be back in the ball game or not. 11-2 run gives the Bucks their biggest lead in the game. And my question to you is, what happened?
Well, when you look at the minute distribution right now for the players on both rosters, a much larger buildup on just the primary 5 or 6 people that Orlando has had to use, whereas George Karl, because of the depth that he has, you see the minutes distributed and this sudden burst. It's that extra energy that Milwaukee seems to have right now. They've done it not only at the defensive end of the floor, getting stops and forcing Orlando into taking bad shots, but then we see some high energy at the offensive end of the floor with second shot opportunities.
You saw Tim Thomas leading. Remember, he had been out with the shoulder injury. It was better. He came back and played very well, but now goes out with back spasms. And the first time we see Michael Doliak in the ball game, and that was a little bit of a surprise that he hadn't played. He hits the jump shot.
And he averages a little over 18 minutes per game during the regular season. And, you know, during the playoffs, you have to make some decisions sometimes on your rotations. And obviously, Doc Rivers felt that early going, the other team is the one that he wanted to use against his team primarily, but now he gives Doliak a chance.
Garrity on Caffey. It rims out and is collected by Garrity. It's a 10-point Milwaukee lead, 5:08 to go in the game. Orlando a chance to cut into that double-digit lead. Milwaukee's biggest lead has been 12 just moments ago. Armstrong trying to get a clear out, goes into the post to Tracy McGrady. Turnaround jumper won't fall for Tracy. He is 1 of 7 from the floor in the fourth quarter. Cassell's fade away. Tipped out by Armstrong. Still a 10-point ball with 4:30 to go. Lob into Miller from McGrady. That's twice they've done that tonight.
Twice we've seen the 2 youngsters with McGrady leading the break and Miller finishing it off on the long pass over above the top of the rim.
Mike Miller, the rookie out of the University of Florida from Mitchell, South Dakota. Glenn Robinson working on Tracy. Some help from Miller. Shot clock to 7. Irvin Johnson had to try the jumper. That's exactly the shot that Orlando wanted Milwaukee to take. 8-point lead. Garrity wanted to try that 3 again. 3:56 to go in the game. McGrady to the hoop hard. It is now a 6-point Milwaukee lead, and Orlando just will not die. 31 points for McGrady. The high in the playoffs so far has been 33 from Tim Duncan of San Antonio. This is a 6-0 run by Orlando. Doc Robinson, Glenn Robinson comes back and misses the 3.
I didn't realize he had gotten that extra degree when he was in school.
Yeah. I always think of Glenn Doc Rivers. Armstrong missing. Big miss. Three minutes to go in this ball game. 94-88, Milwaukee. Robinson gets past McGrady. The long kick out, Lindsey Hunter. Rebound, McGrady. Can he do it all? Has 8 rebounds tonight. Give us 31 points. McGrady from 18 feet. I don't care that he's only 21 years old. He has to be getting tired. Lindsey Hunter. Misses from 3. Orlando stays in here. We have a foul that's going to be called on Milwaukee. That's on Cassell, and he just picked up his fourth. .234 to go in the ball game. 94-88 Milwaukee. Tim Thomas of Milwaukee left and will not be back. He has an acute back strain. You talk about somebody who could have a sore back. It's Tracy McGrady carrying the Magic.
Well, McGrady is certainly going to need some rest in between games 1 and games 2. When you look at what his line is right now, the box score, he's been on the floor 41 minutes for the Magic. He has scored 31 points. It's not easy to get field goal attempts off in the NBA. He has 32 attempts off. He has 8 assists, creating shots for his teammates. He has 8 rebounds, 9 for 9 at the free throw line. That is a lot of effort. I didn't mention that he's been guarding Glenn Robinson and Thomas and Allen. One night for this young man.
Drives and kicks. Garrity on the drive. He's fouled by Scott Williams, who hasn't been on the floor for a few minutes. He had such a great first 2.5 quarters. And that'll be the third.
When you look up at the scoreboard, you don't feel like the score should be just a 6-point game, but Orlando is right there, 94-88 with 2:20 to go in the game.
Team fouls, Orlando 4, Milwaukee has 3. McGrady comes back, he's got 33. That ties the playoff high in this early playoffs of 2001. It's an 8-0 run, and the Bucks, look at that, they are 0 for 5. It's a 4-point game, and now that breaks the drought. Glenn Robinson, who has 14. 6-point Bucks lead. McGrady gets it inside. Back out here to Mike Miller. Rebound to Scotty Williams. Scotty has 15 boards tonight. Minute 41 to go in the game. 10 on the shot clock. Inside to Robinson. Rims out of there, but Irving Johnson's back for the offensive board in the throwdown, and they have come unglued at the Bradley Center. Bucks by 8, Orlando. Timeout. Doc Rivers all the way out to have something to say to the officials.
Well, what's happening on the missed shot, Doc Rivers feels that inside down low, they're clearing out with their arms. Another second shot opportunity.
It's been a game Orlando Magic team, but they trail by 8 with 1:29. Tomorrow night, a doubleheader on TNT. In Game 1, the Hornets meet the Heat, followed by the Timberwolves and Spurs. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. And Tuesday night, a doubleheader on TBS. In Game 1, the Pacers take on the Sixers, followed by the Mavericks and Jazz. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern Time. So we have 1:29. 98-90. You see the timeouts remaining. Fouls to give Milwaukee with 1. So you have Doliak, Garrity, McGrady, Armstrong, and Miller on the floor. Orlando will be looking for the 3-point opportunity, down 8 here. Armstrong inside to McGrady. Garrity missed from 3. McGrady gets the offensive ball punched away by Sam Cassell. Minute 12 to go. Milwaukee looking to hold serve in this best of 5. Inside a minute. Scotty Williams. Why not? He's had such a great game. Scotty has 19 points and 15 rebounds. 56 seconds to go. 10-point Bucks lead. Coming up after 56.3 seconds of basketball here inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. EJ, Kenny, and Charles will be joined by Paul Pierce. Scores, highlights, analysis from today's game.
No, Bob, George Karl has done a great job with this franchise. Go back to the shortened season. They were 28-22 during the 98-99 season. Then 42-40 a year ago. Now 52-30. They have the most wins in the Eastern Conference with 31. New York is second with 30 wins this year. Philly, Miami, 29. Had the second most road wins. And he was rewarded this year with an extension to his contract by Senator Cole. Reportedly also got a little piece of the team as well. I think it's a tremendous tribute to what George and his staff have done here in Milwaukee. And the crowd is a great tribute to what they've done. You can hear them.
Yeah, somebody was saying today George should get a piece of the action from the ticket sales, but now he is getting a piece of the action from the ticket sales. Orlando cut the 12-point deficit to 4 at 94-90. At 2:14, got no closer, and Milwaukee's going to hold serve in the first game of the first round. Second game here will be on Wednesday night. Doc Rivers coaching Troy Hudson, even with 41 seconds remaining. Doc Rivers' first playoff game as a head coach.
Interesting that for the season, in the 4 games between these two teams, the average margin of victory has come out to be 11 points for Milwaukee. And here we are right now with a 10-point lead with 41 seconds remaining. It's not easy to beat a team 10 straight times, Bob.
That's about to be the story here. The last time Orlando won was in April of 1999. Hudson tries to drive past Cassell, is fouled with 36 seconds to go. So there have been some upsets in this first round, yesterday and today. Phoenix got Sacramento today at Sacramento. Orlando showed some signs here tonight, but they could not pull it off. Tracy McGrady, however, has 33. So 9 rebounds and 8 assists. 23 seconds to go, and yet another foul. This one on Troy Hudson. So the first weekend of playoffs, a lot of parity in the NBA. People talked about how the first round could be interesting, and Mike, it has so far been thus.
Oh, there's no question. This is a very, very difficult round to get past, particularly if you are the team with home court advantage. You go into those first 2 games, and unless you have an extremely confident, poised team, in the back of your mind, you're saying to yourself, we can't afford to lose one of these first 2 and lose that home court advantage, and then all of a sudden give the opponent all the confidence that you need going back home again. So it's tough to get by this first game in particular and win those first 2 and move on.
George Karl now clearing the bench for this last 23 seconds. 6 bucks in double figures, led by Scotty Williams, 19 points and 16 rebounds. Miller misses from 3. They'll just let it run out now. And the Bucks are going to win it by 13 to go up 1-0 in this playoff series between the 2nd seed Bucks and the 7th seed Orlando Magic. And Milwaukee ends this game on a 9-0 run. 103-90 Milwaukee. Look at this place. It's been like this all year, particularly the last quarter of the season here inside the Bradley Center. 16 sellouts, and Grant Hill, who you see there, knows he'll be back next year. It might be another story if the 2 get matched up. And now let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Ray, in the first half, you were only 3 of 11. What was the difference in the second?
We passed the ball. I think in the first half, we came out, we were so individual, we didn't pass the ball. I think the second half, we passed it better.
Talk about the play of Scott Williams, 19 points, 15 boards.
I think Orlando said Scott Williams was going to beat us tonight, and that's what he did. We found him. He was open line. He made the shot.
You guys swept Orlando, obviously, in the regular season. This team would not go away.
Oh, yeah, they're a feisty team. They're going to play hard. It's the playoffs. They have a lot of motivation. They haven't beaten us in a while, so they're coming out to play basketball. We got to be ready for it.
What kind of games should we anticipate?